All right, happy Mindset Mondays, everybody. It's AB here.
And it's Nevaeh. All right, y'all. So, if you're new here, welcome.
And if you're not new, welcome back. Hey. So, we want to get into a couple things with you guys. We want to let you know to make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our show. We're always about positive reinforcement by giving ourselves self-love and learning how to change that mindset so we can get it right.
Love yourself before you love anybody else.
That's how the world works.
Because you can't love nobody or nothing if you don't value you or love yourself first. And that's being very serious and not even joking around. Love yourself.
You must learn to love yourself in order to grow and prosper through things. To assess it properly so whatever emotional trials that you're going through, you're able to establish what you can do in the time frame that you have. That's always about self-love. That's always about reassessing yourself. Make sure you guys take good care of yourselves. Make sure that you think of ways to do things better and naturally.
Don't force it, because if you force it, more than likely it ain't gonna turn out the way you want to, and it ain't gonna be worth it after that. So just like roll with it.
All right, so we're gonna get into our new
now.
Yes.
S is going to be, y'all gonna find out when we come back.
Hey. It's your brother from another mother.
And your sister from another mister.
Cause you know, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Hey. All right, everybody, we're gonna get into the new letter for S, which is for security.
All right, and then security today is going to basically mean preparing yourself for the unknown, which could be a multiple of things. Obviously, relationships could be one, finances, and just like entrepreneurship, just you taking on new things, but you want to make sure that you are blanketed from what you think may or may not happen. Yeah, definitely. Which we talk about all the time. In order for you to do anything in life, you have to love yourself. You have to be able to be comfortable with who you are. Because in order for you to take any steps, you will never get anywhere unless you acknowledge who you are and you have faith in yourself. So until you overcome the obstacle of just being comfortable with you will never be able to have any type of security with anything. And you will actually create the opposite, which is insecurities within yourself.
Or low self-esteem is another one.
Or low self-esteem.
Because what ends up happening, I'm the type of person who is always self-aware of my surroundings, and I have this idea of trying to be the perfect being, and which you never really can be. There's no such thing as perfection because you never grow, you never fall, but you're stuck.
I mean, my definition, I feel like perfection does not exist, because I feel like if you find something that you deem to be perfect, you're gonna be like, oh, well, what can I do to top this? So you can't top perfection if something's already perfect. What are you topping if you think it's perfect? You shouldn't have to find another way to do it better than whatever it is that you just accomplished.
Exactly. But the idea of the perfection of making sure that, we have our own little quirks and things that we do when we're by ourselves, but when we're comfortable enough to be ourselves around other people, to where those quirks start to show out. And that's what the idea where So because of that, I didn't really learn to self-love enough to want to venture out and do things on my own. I had to have the security of having somebody with me just to make me feel that way, instead of going out, adventuring, seeing things for myself, being able to, work with the podcast, for an example, get my art projects out there, making sure I can go find a new job if I don't like the current one I'm at. It's a multitude of different things.
Of course. I mean, I feel like we want security in every aspect in our life.
Yes.
From, even us being in school, you want the security of getting good grades because you want to go to college.
Right.
And then you want the security of you going to college to be able to get you a good paying job when you get out. But you also want that security of that same degree that you got to get that job and or career to be able to pay off the college that you went to, get that house hopefully to boost up your credit. So security goes a long way, and I feel like a lot of people think like when we say security, you think of like home security. Yes, okay, your home is very important. You do need that to be secure. That is like the most sacred thing that you own, which is your home. Besides your body, your home and your body are the most sacred things that you own.
Yes, exactly.
And those are the things that you need to keep secure the most.
And that's a good point to bring up, because like even during the times of college, I've had moments where like I didn't have enough time to like separate school and personal life, and it tended to mash together, and I ended up having to drop one of them in order for me to establish the classes that I were taking at the time. But because my life took over so much of my schooling that I had put that to the side. Now it's been years since I've actually completed it. I actually failed the class. And the crazy thing about it is the professor that I had at my college, she noticed the very things about me where she was like, I noticed the little quirks that you have. Like my own husband suffers from depression as well. So you have to learn how to break out of that cycle. She was saying, if you would, I can recommend you to medication that you can go to a doctor for and see how that works out for you, because everybody's different and deal with it. And at that time, I really didn't. I just kind of just shunned myself and just stayed in a closed space. Nowadays, I have a different form of outlets. I have like my art projects, I have meditation, I have physical workouts doing, stretching, with the yoga thing. It helps me. And that too, and also having conversations, because that's one of the most important things. What you don't realize is you'll never know how good something is until you try it out. Sometimes it's going to be hard to where you're going to get hit hard. You're not going to have too much time to be doing a lot. You have to set boundary lines for yourself and say, I love myself enough to know this is how much time I'm going to spend on this project.
Another thing, like you said, was security, which was being able to talk to someone, because you want to make sure that there is someone that you know that you can trust, that you can go to talk about anything that you want to talk about. If it's not your friends or your family, then who do you go to talk to? Sometimes we may talk to our coworkers because we know that these are the people who we have gotten a closer bond with, because we see them more than our family since we spend more time at work, or we see them more than our significant other because we spend time at work.
It could be tough on you for time.
It could be, and you feel like you can just vibe with that person and just tell them how you feel without feeling like you have any type of negative feedback from them. But I'm going to talk about a very particular one, which is, as you guys know, and I stated in previous videos, and I'm not going to hide this, but I am adopted, and I've been with my mother since I was 7. No. Since I was 3. I've been with her since I was 3. I'm currently 29, and my mother loves me. I love my mom. Hey Mom, I know you're watching this. Thank you for all the support.
Thank you, appreciate it.
But because I was in the foster care system, I had to have a therapist. And me growing up as a child, I'm like, I don't want to go to therapy. It's so nerve-wracking or whatever like that. But me being a child growing and being a young teenager growing up in the foster care system, although my mother adopted me when I was 7, I didn't really get rid of my therapist until I was probably like maybe 18 or 19. I had the same therapist for all the years that I was in, that I had been with my mother, or still with my mom. I had the same therapist. As therapists are, of course, if they feel that there are some things that need to be said to the parent, they will. But for the most part, they will try to keep things very confidential between yourself and them. Unless they deem that it's like really harmful, then they might probably tell somebody else. But the security of being able to talk to someone else other than who you know, it can be helpful. But me being me, I didn't really feel the security. I didn't really feel secure talking to this person on a deep level than I should, because I always felt like they were going to tell my mom whatever it was that I said. So I did always like withhold information.
And that's what therapy and counseling is all about. It's about expressing things that you normally wouldn't express to other people. It's just to get it off your chest and to uplift your shoulders from all that weight, because I too went through my own forms of counseling, but mine happened during the time so I was about 14 or 15, and both myself and my mom, because I was raised in when I turned 14, I was raised in a single family home at that point. And my mom was constantly overworking herself, and I felt like that she was stressed out about what she had going on at work because she had a whole bunch of different problems. I had emotional stress because I was dealing with abandonment issues. I was dealing with trying to, get through school because, back in the earlier days, I was being bullied a lot because I was a very shy kid at that time. So I was a living target for a lot of people.
He was a...
But my mouth was the other thing that got me in trouble because what I didn't understand was I'm a very truthful person. I just give you the hard grit truth. And people didn't like that, so they took so offense to it that they started messing with me. So I'm not saying I'm a complete victim. I'm still at fault for my own actions.
Of course, and at least you are mature and adult enough to realize that yes, you may have had people that picked on you, but you also knew that you were the cause of some of it and didn't just blame people just for being ignorant.
Right. So during this time frame, my mom got fed up. She took us to Hawaii. She dropped everything.
Dang!
Yeah.
You went to Hawaii?
Hallelujah, girl.
Oh, I'm jelly.
But, we went out and she was like, we both need something to uplift our spirits because we have too much going on.
Shout out to moms for that.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
You're a real one. Not because you went to Hawaii, but because you understood that you saw that your child needed more than what he was giving. You saw that he needed attention and love and affection, and that there was something off about him.
Right, and thanks to this vacation, I actually came out to my mom and telling her that I'm suffering from depression. And this is when everything started to come up. Like, we had our alone time. We really, walked back and forth. We talked about things, and she was like, well, we'll get you a counselor when we get back home. Maybe this way it could be easier for you to deal with it. And during that process, I didn't feel comfortable at all with telling her what things were going on because I felt like I would wanted advice from somebody instead of just having somebody listen because I'm so used to being told what to do. I didn't know
how to be independent.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, well, if I tell you this, maybe you would maybe give me an answer to how to fix it.
Yes, exactly.
But the thing is,
that's not what they're there for. They're there to just listen and let you
vent
out all your issues and problems that you were having. And I didn't understand that at the time because it escalated to the point where I started writing on myself, where if you mess with me, if you talk to me, if you even approach me in a way that I felt threatened, you have to do harm onto me because if you don't, I will. Because I was at that pinpoint, and that's when the counseling really started to kick in.
I'm glad that you went through the counseling and you got the help and you went through the different phases that helped you get out of that, because if it wasn't for some of those people who you ran into, you probably wouldn't be where you are today.
No, I definitely wouldn't be. Like, that's why I say, like, you have to be secure and loving yourself, because when I turned, it was the secure and the love that I needed was, I did not think I was going to make it past 18, because one of the two things was going to happen. Either A, somebody was going to end my life, or B, I was going to end my own.
And neither one of those happened, and here you are 11 years later, alive and well.
Yes.
And on that note, we are going to skip to entrepreneurship and financial security. So obviously financial security and entrepreneurship, they pretty much do go hand in hand.
That's right.
Obviously, in order for you to be an entrepreneur, you do, if you are working, you obviously have to lessen your days to start your entrepreneurship and or just quit your job entirely for your entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And I know it's very hard because everyone wants to start their entrepreneurship when it's the perfect time, but out of all honesty, there is really no perfect time for you to start your entrepreneurship or your business or whatever it is you're trying to do. Your financial security is going to come from you just trying to make the best out of what you have and just trying to go forth to do what you can. Don't wait. Do not wait. And I tell people this all the time. Stop trying to wait for the perfect time, because there is no perfect time. You just have to go and yes, your financial security is obviously going to come from you. You have to make the time. You have to put the effort. You have to, for the most part, believe that whatever it is you are trying to put forth, you're going to be able to do it.
Yes.
Otherwise, You can kiss that financial security goodbye. You can kiss whatever entrepreneurship you have goodbye. And you honestly just have to be secure in knowing what you are going to do for yourself, whether it fails or it succeeds. You have to be, I wouldn't even say arrogant. You just have to be confident and knowing that if you're going to go for this, whether you make it, whether you fail or whether you succeed, that you did what you did. But if you are just solely only focusing on the money aspect of it, you're not looking at it as the bigger picture.
Right.
You're only taking it in for a small portion of what it could be, and that's not something that you want to do. So I would say for your financial security, yes, if you have some money that's saved, that's great, do what you need to. But even if you only got $2 in your bank and you like, I want to start a lemonade stand business, okay, you do that. That's probably kiddie stuff, but whatever. You got to start somewhere, okay?
Because during this pandemic, this has given me ample opportunity to be able to work on my craft that I've been putting to the side for many years. Because like the podcast, for example, I've this for like, almost 2 to 3 years at this point, right?
We have been talking about it for, well, we discussed it last year, but we never really able to do it until this year.
I was talking about it for almost 3 years, and get this thing going was because, one, I just lost my job. I was trying to figure out where I was gonna go. I had to start all over again years ago. And I had to rebuild myself in order to get to that. So just being able to start all over again and get my bearings together, that's what motivated me to want to start this project, basically. What other people are going through the same experiences that I'm going through, and if I put it off for too long, then I won't know what changes I can bring to somebody. And throughout these last 3 years of me doing this, people have come to me and said, I really do appreciate your craft. It brings an uplifting enlightenment for me because I suffer through depression. I've had suicide thoughts. I've done things to myself that I never gave myself that type of love. But you putting something every morning, evening, and late at night to remind me that, you know, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was today. And I can make that change for tomorrow and have a better chance. There's always another day I can do it.
Expressing, you guys are only really just seeing a small amount of who we are.
Yes.
So you're only seeing the things that we basically record and show you guys, which is us talking. But we will be opening up more for you guys to see who we are to an extent. Obviously, we can't show everything that we do because not everything should be seen by everybody.
Right, there's some secrets that you do need to withhold from yourself.
Of course, and no, it ain't nothing like that. For some of y'all thinking that it's like that, because it ain't.
No.
But you know, some things are just best kept to yourself. Yeah. And also, just adding on to what you said earlier, which is sometimes the best security that you don't even understand is just starting over. Because when you start over, you're letting go of any and everything that has pretty much held you down in a negative way, and not held you down like, oh yeah, like they got me, like no, not like that, like things that have been hindering you know. So sometimes restarting is the best thing that you could ever do for yourself, because that security of restarting helps you understand that you got you like nobody else does, and you have your back like nobody else will. You can have your back way better than, yes, even your own parents. Your parents are your biggest cheerleaders and your biggest supporters, but you need to have more faith and understanding in yourself than your own parents do. And your parents will swear up and down that they know you like the back of their hand. And even though they might, you need to top them in support for yourself.
Yes, exactly.
That is the best type of security that you will ever get, is from you. You can't get it from nobody else. And that's the best thing that's the thing that we say all the time, but it's so true. Because we want to drill this in your head that you are your biggest support, your biggest security, your biggest friend, your biggest everything.
Yeah, you really are. And that's the best blessing you can give yourself.
And on that note, we said too much.
We
get out.
Peace.
End of the video.
Okay. Let me step back just a little bit. You ready?
Let's stop flashing to people. Yes, I'm ready. My mom's gonna kill me. She's gonna be like, put your breast on. I'll see your boobs. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Mom. I can't hide them. They're big as fuck. Doesn't matter what I wear. I'm like this so you can like still see them.
Glad I'm gay, man. Anyway. I'm a gigolo, spending lots of different. Hey. Got your little fresh goals.
We should be happy that we don't have that type of shit at all.
Well, we have definitely a lot more. We would have definitely a lot more views. I can guarantee that. But anyway.
All right, let's go.
All right, happy Mindset Mondays, everybody. It's your brother AB here,
and it's threw me off. I said, brother, you be adding extra
every time. We practice. They say your lives. Then we record and do some extra. People like, hey, it's AB, y'all. This is when you practice. And then when the camera rolls, you be like, hey, y'all, it's the pizza man, AB.
I was trying to Mortal Kombat trick you. I was trying to hit one of those.
Yeah, that's why you failed at it. What is that?
Shit, they just saw like a whole bunch of breast bouncing.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's why I was trying to trick you. Right? Anyway, let's try this again.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this.
All right, let's go. All right, happy Mindset Mondays, everybody. It's AB here.
And it's
So
And now you want to talk about somebody's
go along with what we were talking about, but
we'll rewatch the video and then we'll go from there. Yeah, I have a stutter. But where was I?